happened to them.
Yeah.
They persevered. They worked hard their entire lives.
Yep.
And something good happened to them.
Yep.
But that's not the way it necessarily works. You are not bound for anything unless you actually go out there and take it. Go and do what you're supposed to do.
Yep.
Get out there and work. Work hard. Hustle. Do what you need to do. I don't mean hustle as in...
Go sell drugs.
Well, no, I don't mean
whatever.
hustle as in take advantage of other people.
Yeah.
I mean work. Hustle your ass. Hustle your bustle. Move your butt.
Do something with your life.
Be somebody.
Yeah. This goes back to like one of my other vlogs that I did a little while ago, you know? Go out and do something. Work hard so that you can put yourself in a position where you can catch that big break. Work hard so that you have the know-how and you have the skill and you have the ability to snatch that opportunity when it comes to you.
Yeah, because if you're not in it, I'm going to tell you right now, look around at your life. Look around at what you're doing. Are you the stereotype? Because if you are the stereotype, you can't be angry at people. If you walk around calling your best friends the N-word, whether you're white, black, Mexican, it doesn't matter. I've heard it from everybody.
Yeah.
And then somebody turns around and calls you that in anger, you can't be angry. You just called yourself that.
Yep.
That's what you were identifying for.
You
are
told
lazy.
everybody. You told everybody who heard you. That's what you were.
You are a lazy, no good piece of shit. That's what you're telling everybody. Every time you say that, you're calling your friends that. You're having them call you that.
Yep.
There is no positive connotation for that.
There's not. There's really not. And I know a lot of, especially in the black community. I mean, like he said, everyone's doing it. Like, a lot of low-class people throw that word around like it doesn't mean anything. But it does. It really, really does. And this is even going beyond just the fact that, yes, okay, slaves were called that. Yes, okay, black people were called that as a discriminatory, racist thing. You know, yeah, sure, whatever. But you know what? That word was around for long before then. Go look it up in a dictionary. When you think about it, it's not a nice thing to call somebody. You're calling them lazy, disagreeable, plaintive. Generally a not fun person you want to be around.
If you you call a person country, that's one thing. You call a person ghetto, that's one thing. They both have somewhat negative connotations. Like, you are from a lower class area. That's basically what they're saying. But there are certain things when you go around calling people wetback, when you go around calling people, to a lesser degree, cracker, and different things like that, you're trying to, motherfucker and stuff like that, going back and forth. All you're doing is setting up a stereotype. Like, that's the kind of person that I am. And like she said, when you think that that's the kind of person you are, that's the kind of person you become.
Pretty much.
You can lie to yourself only so long until it becomes the truth.
Yep.
And if that's how you see yourself, that's what it's gonna. I mean, I hear people like, man, yeah, I'm gonna make it big, and I'm gonna do all this stuff, and it's like, oh, cool. What are you gonna do when you get that way? Well, nothing. I'm gonna still be who I am. I'm gonna be where I'm at. I'm gonna
always be hood.
And it's like, no. And then you hear rappers, and the rappers are like, no, we don't stay in the hood. I mean, we got out as fast as we could.
Right?
Why would we stay? That's dumb. People get shot there. I got money. I'm gonna go get a house in the hills with all the white folk that got money.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna send my kids to the white folk school.
Yep.
Because they're gonna learn how to be talking properly and doing shit. And when they grow up, they're not gonna be hookers. And they're not going to be drug dealers.
Yep.
And they're not going to be gangbangers.
Yep.
They're going to be bankers.
And they're
going to make
shot.
bank. Yeah, they're not going to get shot. I mean, unless one of my other idiotic friends decides to go in and try to get money from them.
Yeah. And you know what? If you don't believe me when I say that when you hear these stereotypes all the time, it gets reinforced in your brain. And then you make the stereotype true, not because the stereotype was true beforehand, but because you make it true, because you've heard it so often. Try an experiment.
Believe it.
Because you believe it, right. Try an experiment, right? Start telling yourself every day when you wake up, look in the mirror, Tell yourself, I'm a smart person. I can do it. I can handle anything that gets thrown at me. Every day in the mirror. You know what? Put it on a sticky note. Paste it in the mirror. So every day, when you go look in the mirror to go brush your teeth or whatever, do your hair up, whatever you do, you'll see that sticky note that says, I can do it. I'm a smart person. I'm a strong individual. I can handle whatever life throws at me. I can do better. I can get better.
If you have somebody that loves you, somebody that's with you all the time, get them to tell you that every day.
Yeah.
And just tell them, even if they know, even if you know that they're saying it because you asked them to.
Yeah.
There's going to be something deep down inside you that just feels good every day that you hear that.
It'll be a huge difference. Huge difference. You do that for a month. Tell me what the difference is. And for those of you out there with kids, especially those of you out there with kids who are in lower class areas, and your kids aren't doing so well in school, start telling your kids every single day before they go to school, you're smart. You're really smart. You can do it. You're really good at things. And if your kid comes home saying, Mommy, I got a test. I don't do good on tests. It's not a test. It's just a puzzle. It's just a puzzle. You got to figure the puzzle out. That's all it is. Just figure the puzzle out.
For the love of God, sit down with your kids every once in a while and work with them. The school is not a nursery.
It's not. No. Don't, yeah.
The teachers are not babysitters. Teachers are teachers. They are expected to send your kids home and for you to teach your own damn kids. Yeah. That's what homework is for.
Help them reinforce what they've learned in school.
It's not even that. I mean, I've known teachers can't always get through the kids, but your parents almost always can. And you know what? It starts off when they're young.
Yep.
So if when they're 13, you don't understand why you can't get through to them, maybe it's because you haven't tried in 13 goddamn years.
Yep.
So work with them. Sit down with them. You find yourself getting angry, take a deep breath. Go for a walk.
Exactly.
You know? I mean, every person has a different way of learning. You just got to find it. I've always found that if you sit them down and you work them and work them and work them and you tell them, look, we're not getting up from this. We're not taking a break. I don't care how hard you cry. And oh, I've made people cry. I don't care how hard you cry, how hard you whine. We are here until you learn this. Tears are not going to affect me. We are here until you learn this. And you stay with them until they learn it.
Yep.
And then when they learn it, when they've got it, they can do it backwards and forwards. You can test them, you can quiz them, and they've got it. You sit there and you hug them.
And you praise them.
And you tell them you did a great job. Let's go out, let's get you something special. Let's go get you an ice cream.
Yeah.
Let's go for a walk together.
Yeah.
Let's go play a game of catch or something. I want you to know you did a good job. This was hard to do, but you did it.
Yep.
Now when we go to school, you're going to know it. You're going to ace that test. It's not going to be a thing.
Yep. And see, it'll be a lot easier for them to pick up on stuff too. The more you reinforce positively, you're smart. You can do whatever you want to do. You're intelligent. You can do it. You can mug it. You can make it. You can always do better. The more you tell them that, the more you enforce that, and the more consistent you are with that, and the more you try to flip it when someone else comes around and they're like, man, your kid ain't gonna do nothing, he black. Or he Mexican, or he's in the ghetto. Your kid ain't gonna go nowhere. You turn around and you tell your kid, don't listen to him. He doesn't know what he's talking about. You're intelligent. You're strong. You can do it. You can make it. You can go wherever you want to go.
He's not gonna go anywhere because he's already decided he's not gonna go anywhere.
Exactly.
But that's not you.
Exactly. You give him that.
And don't make excuses for yourself either.
Don't do it.
If you're in a bad place, if you're in a dead-end job, in a place that you can't stand and everything, don't try and make excuses for yourself. Tell your kid the truth. I'm here because of the choices I made. I'm here because of the decisions that I made.
Yep.
I'm here because I'm not motivated enough to go any farther.
Yep.
If you think that you have to make excuses for yourself, obviously there's something wrong.
Mm-hmm. Your kid's gonna pick up on that too. Your kid's gonna see you making all these. Well, I'm here because the man kept me down. Then all of a sudden, your kid. Anytime your kid fails, it's not because your kid failed. It's because the man kept them down.
Yeah, it's somebody else's fault. Always somebody else's fault.
Don't teach them that.
Look at yourself. Look at your surroundings. Are you there because of you, or are you there because it's always somebody else's fault? Never yours. You're fine. But it's always somebody. Something happened. Somebody got the promotion because they were kissing too much ass.
That's not what it is.
Okay. Then get the next promotion.
Yeah.
No, I couldn't because there's just too many people kissing ass. Well, then get another job, one where you can get a promotion. man, that's too hard. I got bills to pay. It seems like you're making a lot of excuses.
All the excuses.
That's not a reason. That's an excuse. I've known people that were like, you know what? Nope. Dropping this job, I'm going to get another one.
Yep.
Or, you're working one job, you get another job, you're working two jobs. It's difficult, but you're working two jobs until you get to a place where you can drop the first job.
Yep.
I've worked two jobs, one job working 80 hours a week, the other one working 40 hours a week. I slept in my car and I went home just long enough to take a bath and grab a new pair of clothes. Then I'd go to my other job and I'd sleep until it opened up.
Yep. You know, I was out of work for almost a year because I just hadn't made the decision to go back and get a job. Now, I was lucky. I had somebody wonderful here to take care of me and help me work through what I was working through at the time. But you know what? As soon as I made the decision that I want to get back into the workforce, it took me what? 2 weeks? 3 weeks?
2 weeks, if even that.
See? Right on 2 weeks.
You started thinking about getting into it, and you got a job.
Yeah.
And then they were like, "Oh no, we overhired people," and you were like, "I really didn't want a job anyway."
Yeah.
And it wasn't until then you were like, "You know what? I want to go back to school, and I want a job, and I want this." And I was like, "All right,
Yep.
we did it. We did all of it."
Yep. I made the decision to move forward, and then I moved forward.
Quickly.
Yep.
Now got a great job, doing good. But see, that's the thing. It starts with the decision. It starts with you deciding yourself. Like, it's the same that goes with stereotype. If somebody tells you a stereotype, you're not going to do good because you're an ugly, bald-headed white man. And so you're not going to do a good job. Fuck you. I don't have to listen to you.
Yep.
I don't have to believe what you say. You know what? I know my worth. And I'm going to go and I'm going to do what I want to.
Yep.
People aren't going to hire you for that job because you look scary looking.
You are pretty scary.
Yeah. But I've got a dazzling smile. You go in and you just let them know who you are. And sure enough, you get the job. I've never been denied, even jobs that they were like, this isn't a job. This isn't a job for a majority. This is a job for a minority. Well, I can do the job. Well, job that I'm at right now. I am the minority. It's me and like two other white guys. And it's very clear that it's a job working with people from lower class areas, people that have hard times, and it doesn't matter to me because it's the job and I can do the job. And that's the point. It doesn't matter if you're the only black person or the only Mexican person in a sea of white folk.
Yep.
And you feel uncomfortable. They don't feel uncomfortable. They might feel uncomfortable because you walk around and you look at them and you feel uncomfortable. But if you take it, you own it, you go, I don't give a goddamn.
Yep.
This is what I decided to do, and this is what I'm going to do. And if you go as high as you can, if you find that there's discrimination, leave. Go find another job. Go find a job that does the same thing, but makes maybe a little bit less, but you can rise up through the ranks. You don't have to be, if the company makes a decision to be stupid, to be discriminatory, maybe they don't like guys, maybe they don't like girls, maybe they don't like your particular color, whether you be white, black, Mexican, it doesn't matter.
Something in between, maybe.
Asian, Mongolian.
Hero Mongolian. It's such a bad game.
It is. It's a hilarious game. South Park is wonderful. We love South Park.
Stick of Truth.
Stick of Truth is awesome. Love video games. But it doesn't matter. If you make the decision and you keep moving forward, they can't keep you down. You don't have to be in a job that you hate with people that are bringing you down. If you notice that they're bringing you down, if you notice that they're not hiring you and it's because you're just the wrong person for them, go find a job where you're the right person. Get off your lazy ass. Oh, I'm so tired. I work, 8 hours a day. Work 9 hours a day. I get a 1 hour break, but whoo, you've got 18 hours. Or 17 hours if you get a 1 hour break. You got 17 hours in the day. You need 5 hours of sleep. 5. That's all you need. That's all you need to get a proper night of sleep. 5 hours. Oh, you'll be tired. You'll be tired. But you know what I found? You're tired? Do push-ups. Start working out. Get your adrenaline pumping. Get your head up. Get you ready to go.
Definitely.
You know what? If you're a fat, lazy bastard, like myself, then start working out. Start working out. It will make you burn fat easier. It'll make you keep along with your food better, and you'll have more energy.
And you'll feel better. You'll feel better. You'll look better. People will look at you
and you
in
get
a better
job because
light.
you look better.
And
I
you
don't care what anybody
exactly.
says. People see you and they automatically judge you by the way you look.
Yep.
And that is not a bad thing, people.
Everybody does it. It's just an immediate thing.
If
It's
you're
just
a
human
big
reaction.
fat bastard and you can't help it, there are people that can't. Thyroid problems, you just can't do it. My mom, bigger woman, always been a bigger woman. She cannot not be a bigger woman and still be healthy. She just can't. She can't eat even a regular amount. It's just who she is. She can work out, she can do stuff, but she just can't. She can't do it. She kind of gave up. But the truth, that is the truth. She can't do it. She just literally can't do it. And that's fine. There's going to be people out there. When you can't wow them physically, wow them with what you can do.
Yep. And you know what? Even for those of you who do have medical issues that are keeping you from dropping weight, just because you're a heavier person doesn't mean that you have to look unattractive.
Oh Lord, yes.
You can put on clothes that fit you well, that flatter you, even because of your size. And you know, hygiene is major. Go scrub between your rolls. I do it. I have to lift some of my areas to get in, and make sure I'm not growing mold between my nasty. I have to lift some.
That's what that smell is, by the way, fat people.
Yeah.
Fat people. That smell that fat people always have is mold
that
growing
follows
between.
you around and you never can seem to get rid of it.
That is mold. That is literally what that is. That is mold that grows on fat people because it likes the dark, damp areas.
Yep.
And as a fat guy, I sweat. Now I've been skinny. I've worked on a farm most of my life, but I'm a very sedentary job. I sit most of the time. And you know what? That makes you fatter. I cook good food.
Yeah, he does.
But I cook with bacon fat.
Mm-hmm.
I don't cook these namby-pamby. I learned from an old country woman. My grandmother, the one that could smack you on the ass and leave a handprint with just one good whap, she was country. She was old country. She was born and raised in Texas, as most of my family was, but she cooked with bacon fat, lard. She cooked on a wood-burning stove. My grandparents had money. They had money. I know. My grandparents had money. They were not hurting for money. But you know how they got that money? They saved. Mm-hmm. They saved. They were like, we don't have to have, the best clothes in the world. We just have to have functional clothes and some nice clothes for when we go to work. My grandmother stayed home. She cooked. She cleaned. Now, when I say she cooked, she cleaned, I mean she sat on her ass and watched television. I mean she cooked, she cleaned, she built a friggin' house. 3-story, Victorian-style house.
Gorgeous.
150 years old, all wood on the inside. It came as a skeleton. Moved from the middle of Austin. They brought it to Manchac as a skeleton. She spent 35 years building that house while she ran a farm with cows, chickens, pigs. She kept an acre garden where they made their own food. Well, a lot of their own food. Plus, chickens, cows.
That woman worked.
They did milking. This woman was not a person who just stayed at home and did Peggy Bundy and just sat on her ass and eating bonbons. This woman worked hard. When you stay at home, you work hard. I've done it before. 2 months that I was off work?
Yeah.
I stayed at home. Every day that I was home.
It was so nice.
Cooking, cleaning. I did woman's work, and I was damn good at it.
Yeah,
I've had a job doing woman's work before, or what's considered woman's work, and you know what? I'm damn good at it, and I'm proud of it. I know how to cook. I learned that from my mom and from my grandmother. I know how to clean. I learned that from my grandmother.
I love you.
Not so much my mom. My mom doesn't know. She knows how to clean. She just doesn't do it. I love you too, baby. But that's the thing. Be proud of what you can do.
Yeah.
People look at me. I go to a bar and I'll drink. I'll order me an amaretto sour because that's my favorite drink. And it's a girly drink. It comes. It's nice and it's sweet and it's delicious. And I'll sit there and I'll just knock them back. And I'll have somebody come up and they're like, "You just drinking girly drinks? What do you want, a beer?" My girlfriend, she'll be like, "Oh, I'll get a beer. I'll take a beer right now. Let's put some sports on." They'll look at me. I'm like, "I don't like sports. Can we have some musical theater?" I'll watch me. I watched that
too.
Well, yeah. Well, you were in theater.
Yeah.
And I'll go watch a musical. I love me a musical. I grew up on musical. Rocky Horror Picture Show, sure. Nutcracker Suite, but I don't care. I grew up on musicals, and I'm damn proud of it. And people look at me, and they're like, what, are you not a man? And I'm like, why? I don't conform to what you believe? No, I'm a man. But I do what I want. And you see, I'm secure in my manliness. I'm secure in my sexuality. I'm secure in who I am. And I don't care what the stereotypes are. I don't care what the stereotypes for men are. I do what I want because I believe in myself. I don't need anybody else to verify that for me. I've got somebody that does. I got somebody that loves me for who I am, and she knows who I am because I didn't lie to her. I put my worst foot forward. She knows exactly who I am.
Yup.
And I know exactly who she is. And that's the thing. You don't need other people. That's the thing about stereotypes. Stereotypes only work if you let them work. People only control you if you let them control you.
Yep. Don't internalize it.
And I'll tell you what, man. When people come to me and they say that about my amaretto sour, I'll drink a few more. I'll laugh with them for a little bit. I'll let them get real good and confident in the fact that they think that I'm just a bitch. And I'll be like, you know what? Let's put some shots out, and I'll order some Jack Daniels. And I'll say, let's play Jack Face. That's whoever makes the sour face, they lose. Let's see whoever can just keep that smile on their face, and I'll knock mine back like it was water. And then if they're able to hang with me on that, like, let's up the ante a little bit. Bring out the Everclear.
Do it.
I'll bring out the Everclear. We'll pour some of that. Just knock that back and see who can keep that face.
Boss.
You don't understand. You don't judge a book by its cover. You don't want to do the stereotypes. Yes, we'll all adhere to them. I'm going to say, you see a certain person come in. You see a guy come in, he's got his hat turned backwards, his pants are sagging low. He's got nice clothes, but it has all the tags on it. He's walking with a limp. He keeps a hand real close to his side like he's got something hidden. Your first thought is, that motherfucker is a thug. That motherfucker going to come over here, and he going to try and beat my ass. And he walks up to you, and he looks you in the eye, and he goes, baby, you looking sexy today.
Oh, no.
And you look at him, and you're like, pardon? I just saw you over here, and I was thinking to myself, you just so fine.
Oh, no.
I say this from experience.
Oh.
And you're like, I'm not gay. That's okay, baby. No, I don't think you understand. I'm not into that. Very flattering, but no. And that's the thing. Destroys the stereotype. You're like, oh my God, what the hell just happened? It was a look for them. It was just how they are, you know? And that's the thing. You're gonna have a stereotype of people. You're gonna judge people. You can't help it.
It happens so fast that even if you are consciously trying to not do it, there is no way possible for you to stop yourself from coming up with it.
Don't beat yourself up about it's going to happen. It happens with everybody. I don't care what anybody says. Everybody judges people. They just do.
Yep.
They judge people. Everybody has a different view of things. Been raised differently. Different religions. Different viewpoints. Everybody's going to judge somebody. The only problem is when you stick to that. When you stick to that, you will not break away from that, even though you know you're wrong.
Yep.
Even if you just accept the person for who they are.
Yep.
You're going to come up, expect to be blindsided sometime. Expect to, I've seen bikers come in and just, I'm talking leather, I'm talking long, scraggly hair, big, buff, burly guys, looking mean as hell. They walking in, they got chains hanging off them, and you're just scared. You're like, oh Lord, this is going to be a fight. It's going to be a fight. And then they come over and they sit down and they're talking and everything, and you're like, hey man, how's it going? He's like, hey. And you get into a conversation. He's like, well, you should give yourself over to the Lord. He's there for you. He's there to help you. And you're like, aren't you a biker? Yes, Christian biker. That's what we do. Yep. And you're like, what?
Yep.
And that's the thing. That's what's great about the world. There are stereotypes everywhere, and there are people that want to adhere to them. There are people that adhere to them because they don't understand. There's people that adhere to them because that's how they've always been. But there are mold breakers. There are people that are there that they've seen the stereotypes, they know the stereotypes, and they're like, fuck the stereotypes.
Yep.
Fuck it. I don't care. I'm gonna go and do who I am. I'm gonna be who I am.
Yeah.
And that's what's great about the world. And that's what's fun, is finding those people. They're everywhere.
You just gotta look for them, man. I mean, sure, you're gonna come up with that initial stereotype, but you know what? Let that person's true personality be the final decision maker for how you truly feel about them, not the stereotypes.
Stereotypes are a survival mechanism. That's just what they are. When you see certain things, it's a fight or flight response. You automatically categorize things, and that's what you have. It's like when you see a beautiful woman. She's sexy, she walks in the room, she's beautiful. All you want to do is have sex with her. All you want to do, you want to get to know her. That's going to be the mama of your babies. You just want to get to know her. You go and you talk to her, and she's got the most ungodly, awful laugh. And you just can't stand it. And she's just not that interesting. She just doesn't do it for you. Well, automatically, you're going to break your stereotype. You're not going to adhere to the stereotype of, she's sexy, she's going to be the mama of my babies. No, because she annoys you.
Yep.
Same thing goes. It's a survival mechanism. You see a person, you decide that guy looks scary. I don't want to deal with him because he's going to hurt me. Or, ooh, I can pick on that one and make him do what I want to because he looks weak. You don't know. I've seen little slips of people looking like Urkel.
Oh.
Not even joking. Pants hanging up, just looking like Urkel. Like straight up. And I've seen them get into a fight and they're like, oh, yeah, I know jiu-jitsu. I'm, a 5th degree black belt.
Yeah.
Why? Because I got my ass beat in school. I learned.
Yup. I know this guy who, first impression of him is he's just kind of like this little geeky, nerdy guy. But you know what? He does Taekwondo and he goes to competitions and he's got a state competition coming up pretty soon. And he's pretty high up there, man.
He's like, I'll break your face.
This place. You
But
know?
that's the thing. You need to learn to have the survival instinct to protect yourself. I mean, there are people and they're just different. So with the stereotypes, they are there. Some of them, they're there for a reason. Like, stereotypes are there for a reason. I don't care what anybody says. The stereotypes are there for a reason. Sometimes the reason is just because other people or other races or other genders or other cultures didn't like them and created them originally. But they're generally based off of something. And they're going to be there. We're never going to get rid of them.
Yeah. Well.
No, I'm sorry. There is no way to ever get rid of get rid of stereotypes, because even once you get rid of it, you do it without thinking.
You do. I don't know. My opinion on that would be, yeah, I'll agree. Stereotypes do usually, almost always, have some kind of basis in truth. Some point, somewhere farther down the line, there was a truth to it. And that's why that stereotype came to be.
Or it might be a current truth.
Or it might be a current truth. But...
I'm sorry, but when you see a scary-looking guy, you tell your kids, don't go near that person.
Because he looks scary.
Because he looks scary.
Yeah.
But boom, that's a stereotype.
I still feel like we can get rid of stereotypes. There will always be stereotypes in existence. That's just what humans do. But a lot of the negative ones, if everybody works together, if we all push in the same direction, then we can break a few of these worst stereotypes. We can break it so that lower class people are no longer told all of their lives that they're never going to make it anywhere because because their families were lower class. And that'll help future generations. Lower class kids will come up and they'll break out of that.
And I think the first step to doing anything like that is to teach your kids acceptance, and to teach your kids that they don't have to be a stereotype. They don't have to be that. They don't have to fit into the mold. To show them when they are doing that, and you're like, is this really what you want? Because this is what you're doing. This is what you'll become, whether you want it or not, if you continue down this path. Another way to do it is to break the ability to continue that way. Like with welfare and stuff like that, with ghettos. Austin does a wonderful job of getting rid of ghettos. I've lived there 30 years, and I've lived there about 30 years, and I can tell you, there used to be some parts of Austin that you just didn't want to go through. East Side was not a great side. It was just not a good place. There were drug dealers, there was a lot of lower class people, there was a lot of gang activity, there was just stuff you didn't want to do. But Austin decided, you know how we're going to get rid of the ghettos? We're going to pump money into them. We're going to make better housing. We're going to buy up some of the land, make better housing. We're going to buy up some of the areas. We're going to put strip malls, like strip centers in. We're going to get local people to come in and do that. We're going to invite more local people. That's what we're going to do. That's what we're going to do. We're going to liven it up. We're going to make it look good. And the ghetto could not compete.
Yep.
They just couldn't. It was either get better or get out. Like,
Yep.
property values kept going up. Poor folk couldn't do it. It's not to say poor folk didn't have places to go. It's not to say poor folk couldn't get jobs and stuff.
Yeah.
It's just that they could not afford to live in a place that wasn't a ghetto anymore.
At least not while they continued along with the behaviors and the patterns that they had existed before. Now, if they changed their behaviors and they started dressing a little bit more nicely so that they could get the jobs that were opening up, all the new jobs that were coming up with those new strip malls, if they pushed themselves and dressed nicely so they can get those new jobs that had better pay, then they could still stay.
Because they wanted to hire local people. And that was the thing. It was like you had a house and it was a ghetto house. Well, they buy up the area around you and you either had to fix up your house or sell it. And they would buy it and then they would tear it down and they put up a nicer house or condos or apartments. And that was the thing. Like, you didn't want to be the only ghetto fucker surrounded by a bunch of
Non-ghetto people.
higher class people.
There you go. Upper class, middle class.
Upper, middle, just people
Yep.
that had a higher class than them. Because they would sit there and they'd hang around the block and they would scare people, and all that would happen was cops would get called on them. And they're like, this is stereotype. And it's like, yeah, one that you're perpetuating.
Yep.
You are walking around purposely looking scary, trying to scare people because you want to be seen as tough. And so what happens is cops are called.
Yeah.
Because that's how civilized people deal with stuff. And this is one of my biggest pet peeves.
Here we go.
You are not a snitch if you are not doing anything wrong. Now let me explain this to you. People say, "Oh, you're going to call the cops? You're snitching on us." That's not true. Now, a snitch originally is a person who is a criminal and then informs on other criminals. That's how snitching works. If you are doing something wrong and to protect yourself or to save yourself, you turn and rat other people out, you are a snitch. If you are a normal person, if you're just sitting at home doing stuff and you see somebody else shoot somebody, you report that shit.
Yep.
You're not a snitch. You're reporting. Because you're not going around shooting folk.
You're a concerned citizen wanting your neighborhood to be safe.
You're not dealing drugs. And all of these ghetto fuckers who have taught their children, oh, you don't talk to the police. What are you, a dumb son of a bitch?
Right?
What are you doing that is so wrong? Because you're obviously doing something wrong and you want your family to suffer for it.